Do you see Buzz?
Let's go. Come on, number 7, let's go. 7, let's go. Hey, a swing. That was Gabe coaching first base the other day. Go ahead with the questions. I'll let you lay into Gabe tomorrow. Are you on with him tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Okay.
I need to work with you on how to at least pose like you've been to a baseball game before and how to act.
Yeah.
Because what you just did.
That was imitating Gabe, mister. Okay. I'm sorry, Johnny Bench. Who are you? Bob Euchre?
Johnny Bench.
Mr. Baseball?
I like that. I like Johnny Bench. That was my JUCO coach's favorite player was Johnny Bench. He had a real high-pitched voice.
I'm old enough to remember Johnny Bench as a player, barely. Like, my first baseball memories.
There's been a lot of comparisons to current players.
To me and Darryl Strawberry?
No, I was actually talking about Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle. But you're not like Mike Trout or Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm
not a switch hitter like Mantle.
Do you see Buzz being able to do what Beard has done at Tech in such short order?
So you're saying, do I think he'll have A&M playing for a national title in, year 3?
Was it Final Four? Elite 8 last year?
An Elite 8 in year 2. I think it's probably another extra year there. But, yeah, do I think Buzz Williams will take a non-basketball school and turn it into a program that competes for conference championships multiple years in a row and can make deep tournament runs and make more than one of them and do so sometimes in back-to-back years? Yeah, I do. Do I think that he'll have A&M playing for a national title one day? It's possible. If you'd asked me that, before Billy Clyde got here, I would have laughed at you if you'd asked me that. Again, I go back to, even with all their flaws and all that, if A&M, if you had a system where you could have just reined those guys in a little more, and Hogue and Davis and Gilder, that was injury related, health related. But if they could have been held all on the team this year, and you go get the dude at Purdue, Carson Edwards, out of Atascocita, does that team, plus the other parts that are already here, does that team not look like one that could have made a very deep run there? And that, so you look at South Carolina, you look at Tennessee this year playing at number 1 a lot of the year. You look at Auburn, you look at Tech, you look at who's the other one I'm thinking of that was deep in there. But, these teams are proving time and time again. Florida State playing within a game of – and then there's the mid-majors, VCU, Loyola Chicago, George Mason, Wichita State, Butler. So, this is a tournament that's set up where it can be done. But the real question you're asking, because to make that run, it's the timing, it's the way the bracket goes. There are always a lot of teams that can get there. It's hard to do it. It's one of the hardest things in sports. But you're asking, can Buzz Williams turn A&M into a team that year in and year out is capable of making a deep tournament run out of the round of 16? And I do think he's going to build them into that. Yes.
Final question. Surprised to see R.J. Mickens come off the board. Will we continue to pursue, or are they moving on?
Let me say about R.J. Mickens real quick, because I saw people, and you've got the smart Alex that think they know everything and think that they know. They're like, trust me, guys. A&M wanted him. This is just spin. I don't know that A&M with a hard push would have gotten R.J. Mickens. Look, he's going to Clemson. They're as hot as any team in the game right now. The head coach, the recruiting machine they've got going over there. So to assume that A&M would have got him, I think would have been a stretch. I think the Aggies would have had to battle from behind and beat Clemson to get him. But I also think that they just had some other guys higher on the board, and that is not sour grapes, because I like RJ a lot. I like him a lot. And if he didn't go to Clemson, he would have ended up at like OU or somewhere else that was in the playoff last year.
Ended up having, he was one of the more middle of the road, not middle of the road, but
he's better than that.
What I'm saying in terms of the opinions
Tweener.
on it. Yeah, he's like
polarizing.
A lot of people are really high on him.
But A&M liked him and recruited him and offered him, but there were guys rated higher. It's just like say Jalen Kimber right now. Okay, Texas A&M could have committed him after the Super Bowl weekend, and they didn't. And he's got offers from the whole country, but he's just not quite what they were looking for. And again, going back to Ray Mickens, I think he's going to be a hell of a player at Clemson. I really do. And I also think that I can understand if you were looking for something different. And I also think had they been saying that's a guy we really want, I do think he would have been a very difficult get, just like Sam Adams' son is going to be a difficult get just because of how heavily he's recruited. Now, that's one that they are going all in and going all out for.
Last thing before I let you go, real quick, about 30 seconds. One recruit in the state you would love to see A&M get committed. Just one guy.
Like soon, like in the next month or two, like before summer?
Because we're unveiling our new top 100 today, and there were some guys.
In-state?
Yep.
I mean, Zach Evans is the guy, but, I mean, if you're saying that I think I'd love to see them get, let's say, before camp season, in-state's the tough part because there's a couple out-of-state guys I'd like to see them get. I would say Ryan Watts is my guy. Garrett Hayes is 1B on that list.
I would go Devon Chain.
He's in my top 5. So is Troy O'Meara would be in my top 5.
He'll be on campus this weekend.
Yeah.
That visitor list, we'll get a lot. We'll dive into that on Thursday. A lot more to get to as we go out throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Louis on the other side of the break. You listen to Beliucci Hour Lunch live on The Zone.